thinking of moving to Greeley, but there's so many neighborhoods you just don't know which one to pick? Well, if that's you, you need to keep watching. I'm going to give us 4 neighborhoods you might want to consider. They're cost-effective or more cost-effective neighborhoods, and they're really nice neighborhoods in Greeley to live, and I highly recommend them. So keep watching. Hi, my name is Jamie Eklund, and I'm a realtor here in the beautiful state of Colorado. On this channel, we talk about all things living in Colorado. If you're thinking of moving to Colorado, if you're thinking of maybe moving within Colorado, you may want to consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell notification to be notified next time I post a video. Now, I get calls from people all the time who are thinking of moving to Colorado, and they're asking me, what is life like there? And I do the best I possibly can, and I'm as candid as I possibly can be with my response. Understand this is my opinion, but I've lived here for the last 15 years, and I'll tell you what my opinion is. Now, I hope that if you are thinking that this would be helpful to you, and if it is, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you, and I'd love to help you make such a big decision. All right, so we are going to look at 4 different neighborhoods here in Greeley that you might want to consider. First on my list is going to be the Hunters Cove area. Now, this area is on the northwest side of Greeley. It's a pretty small subdivision. It has some condos in there. It doesn't have any patio homes, but it has a lot of houses that back up to open space, and there's a walking or biking path right behind there that it backs up to. And it actually has quite a few houses that back up there. So if that's something you're looking for, Hunters Cove may be a good option for you. There's probably only a couple hundred houses in Hunters Cove. So like I said, it's not big. It's not super close to a lot of the shopping and stuff like that. It is a little bit out of the way, so to speak, when it comes to within Greeley. But if you're looking for a little serenity, you're looking for some peace, and you want a little bit of open space to look out, you're not looking in your neighbor's backyard, Hunters Cove may be a really good option for you. Now, another neighborhood you might want to consider is the Mountain Vista subdivision. Now, Mountain Vista is a fairly large subdivision, about 400 to 500 houses. However, it's kind of divided, and the roads are a little bit segregated a little bit, which actually makes it kind of nice so that you don't have as much through traffic. There's a lot of cul-de-sacs there, and there's some really nice houses there, and you can get some really cost-effective houses and some very expensive houses there. So you got a bit of a range within Mountain Vista. It's also very far west, and so when if you're living or working in Loveland, or if you want to get closer to Denver, stuff like that, it's going to be closer than some of these other subdivisions are. But it's also a really popular subdivision to live in. The HOA is pretty reasonable there, and there's just a lot of nice houses. So that may be a subdivision that you want to consider as you're thinking about moving to Greeley. The other thing to mention about it is it does have a walk path that goes kind of right in the middle of it. And so if you want a place to get out and walk your dog or go ride a bike, it's got that available for you. So that may be an option as well. Now, just across the street from Mountain Vista is Homestead Heights. Now, Homestead Heights is also a very nice subdivision. It's got houses that were built in the early 90s all the way up until a few years ago. And so it's got quite a range. They've got a community pool, a community park. So if you want to participate in that, you absolutely can. Now, it's a pretty large subdivision. It's pushing about 600 houses. And so it's pretty good size, but it's still broke up enough where you don't feel like you're in this gigantic community. And it is, like I said, it's over by Mountain Vista, so it's on the far west side of Greeley. Now, it's still going to be north of Highway 34, but you can get on 20th Street there, and you can get on Highway 34 and head to Loveland in no time flat. You can be in the Centera shopping area really quickly, or you could go to I-25 and go down to Denver or whatever you want to do fairly easily from this neighborhood. So if these are things that are important to you, if you're looking for that, then it may be a good option. Now, it's not really that close to some of the shopping within Greeley, but if that's not a problem for you, then it may not be a big deal. Now, the last subdivision that I'm going to talk about is the Boomerang Run subdivision. Now, this is a really neat subdivision. It backs up, a lot of the houses back up to the Boomerang golf course. So if you've ever wanted to live on a golf course, this may be a good option for you. And what makes this subdivision really unique is it backs up to a golf course, but there really isn't an HOA in the subdivision. Now, I'm not sure if this still stands. I know there for a long time they had a voluntary HOA of like $25 a year that helped to put some Christmas lights around the subdivision. I'm not sure if they still do that or not, but other than that, they don't have an HOA. And so if you're wanting to live on the golf course, but you don't want to be told what to do from an HOA perspective, this may be a good option for you. Now, it's a pretty small subdivision as well. It's less than 200 houses over there. They don't have any patio homes. They don't have any condos. You know, it's pretty much just residential, detached, normal houses over there. But there are some pretty nice houses over there as well. There is also a little bit of a pond, a little bit of a lake, pond, I guess. And there are a few houses that back up to it as well, which are really kind of cool. Now, those houses don't back up to the golf course, obviously, but you got a little bit of options there. It's just kind of big circle subdivision, so you can drive around the whole thing. And it's also, there's one entrance, one exit, so you're not going to get any through traffic. The only traffic you're going to see there are people that are coming and going from that subdivision itself. So it is a beautiful subdivision and one that you should check out. Now, it's a little bit older than some of the other ones we've talked about, but it's still not a very old subdivision either. I think most of those are built from the 80s up till 2000. So that's kind of the range you're going to be looking at. So the houses are still fairly modern, and a lot of them have been recently updated, and you can find yourself a pretty awesome house over in that subdivision. Now, if you're still thinking of moving to Greeley, but you're unsure, I'm going to put a relocation guide for Greeley down in the description. It's absolutely free. Download it, and hopefully it will help you make such a big decision. If you still have questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk to you, and I'd love to answer any questions you have about what life is like here in Greeley.